Bizperation is the podcast for leaders, dreamers, and entrepreneurs that want to work on purpose and be inspired in life and business. I'm Christy Jackson, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, and I'm passionate about helping you succeed. And if no one else has told you today, you are needed. So I'm bringing you podcast episodes with real lessons and strategy that you can use today. So listen, Nicholas, I want to welcome you to the Bizperation podcast, and I'm looking forward to our chat today.
I'm excited as well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So listen, I know you, but I want you to introduce yourself to those that don't know you.
Oh, Jesus. So my name is Nicholas R. Powell. The R stands for greatness. And I am a performance psychology consultant where I work with individuals on the mental side of performance, is teaching them, providing them with tools to help them to deal with adversity and how to overcome obstacles.
All right, so you threw in that R stands for greatness, and I know that greatness does not begin with the letter R. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The thing with life is, growing up, I grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. So I grew up in the ghetto place called Concrete Jungle, and they, just like here, they told you things are only way for you to make it out. You have to do one or two paths. And over time, I've come to learn that that's not how it is. And when we set our goals, there are a lot of times when our goals are not going to make sense to people. Just like you said, that don't make sense. And when we set our goals in life, sometimes we don't achieve our goals, not because we didn't have the skills or the capability of achieving it, but because somebody told us it didn't make sense, so we didn't pursue it. Or even if we pursued it, it wasn't with everything in us because we were already told that that goal wasn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. You're not able to make it if you pursued it. So you go in not giving 100%. And then proving when it doesn't work out that, see, that's why I didn't pursue it. I didn't achieve it because it didn't make sense. So the R stands for greatness is helping people to understand that when you set your goals, it don't have to make sense to anybody else. Mm-hmm. As long as it makes sense to you, that's what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was really one of the reasons that, I was really excited to be able to talk with you on our Bizperation podcast, especially during this time when we are, all just navigating a new normal with COVID-19. And there are so many things that, we do not control. But the mindset, when you are able to have a winning mindset, to win at that mindset, and it is a game. And I love how you approach it, with your consulting. And we'll talk more about that. But, I'm just curious about, the unexpected challenges that, you've had to navigate through with COVID-19.
Yeah, it definitely has been a challenge because a large portion of my clientele are athletes. And right now with the whole social distancing, a lot of athletes have stopped training because they used to train in groups. They have cut back on the training and they're not able to compete. They're not sure when they're going to compete. And now it's a matter of how do we stay focused during this time and not give up on it for this season and say, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and relax and wait till next year.
Yeah.
Some people are frustrated. So right now is navigating them and helping them to understand the importance of keep pushing. Now is the time that you really fully commit because it's going to put you ahead of the pack come next season.
Yeah. And, that kind of leads me to my next question. And I'm sure that, with you doing this work around mindset, you are constantly teaching people about the value and the power of having a positive and healthy mindset. But why do you think people sleep on the power of your thinking? Everybody wants strategies and tactics to do, but why do you think people don't necessarily value the power of your thinking or your mindset? as much?
I think we have been taught to more focus on what we can see and what we can touch. And a lot of, especially working with professional athletes, a lot of time people come in and say, what can I do now? We have this thing I talk about in the book I'm writing. It's called the microwave mindset. We want it now.
Yeah.
What can we do that's going to give me results right now to help me to achieve what I want to achieve? So a lot of times they're thinking of quick things to do now and not realizing that our mind is what gives us the confidence we need to pursue the tangible things. So if I can't see it or feel it right now, I'm not going to pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the biggest thing. So working with professional athletes, some of them, they'll go out there and train hard. But for me to have them to sit down and think about, what do I need to do in order to achieve just something as simple as writing out their goals? It is a big thing. But they'll go out there and work hard physically,
yeah,
but haven't spent time to work on the mental side. And most of the time when people don't perform, which I mentioned earlier, is not because physically they're not capable of doing it. It's because mentally they didn't prepare properly.
Yeah.
And the minute there's an obstacle, they freeze up because they weren't thinking ahead.
Yeah. And I would imagine that now people are really feeling the effects of the lack of preparation of mindset because, I was on a Zoom call earlier today and, we are left to deal with ourselves right now. We are in isolation. We are not connected and some of us are not able to work in the same ways that we have. And it messes with your values sometimes. People are struggling to, understand, why do I matter? Why am I here? And how can I still, share and show my value to the world when I'm quarantined inside of this house? So I want you to talk a little bit about your mind game, right? Your mind game consulting. How is that approach different than per se, growth mindset or any of these other mindset philosophies?
The mind game really is an incorporation of all these different mindsets. The mind game is really helping people to put together strategies. One, so I'll break down the mind into an acronym. And the M stands for motivation. Everything in life you want to do, you have to have a why. What's your motivation behind doing it?
Yeah.
Most of the time we get into things and we don't know why we're doing it. We just know that this is what we were told to do. So the minute we are faced with adversity, it's too cold or I can't get out the house, it's easy for me to give up and lose sight of what I'm working on.
Yeah.
If the motivation is not strong enough. So my job is to teach people why motivation is important. Once we know what the motivation is, then we're going to go ahead and focus on being intentional. What are the things? This is where the goal setting comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm incorporating all the different approaches.
Yeah.
The I stands for in being intentional, where we're now, what do I need to do to achieve this goal? When they tell us I can't go outside because my motivation, the reason behind why I'm trying to do it is so strong. Now I got to find a way to be intentional even while I'm still at home.
Yeah.
The N stands for nerd, becoming a nerd to your craft. Once you know your motivation and you're intentional, now I have to study. How can I get better at this?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of times we get it. And one of the things I work with my athletes, especially the basketball players, I'm like, the goal is not for you to do it till you get it right.
Mm.
The goal is for you to do it till you cannot get it wrong.
Oh, I like that. That's a shift that is a mindset shift because you're focusing sort of on process and not just outcome.
There you go. Because we know that practice makes.
Perfect.
It is wrong. Practice makes better. That's why we always tell people to keep practicing. And if you follow basketball, you'll see shot days when Steph Curry, he'll be taking shots, and he can take shots from anywhere on the court with his eyes closed and still hit it.
Yeah.
That didn't come from hitting it one time and be like, okay, I got it now. Mm-hmm. It's what do I need to do consistently to make sure that every time I take this shot, I'm hitting it. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal in teaching my clients how to study a craft to the point where you keep getting better at it and not, I know it, so I don't have to practice it.
Yeah. I love what you're saying about, being grounded in that why, because that's the motivation that you need to go hard, on that, whatever that thing is for you. If you're an athlete, if you're an entrepreneur, leader, author, whatever it is that you do, that why has to be that piece that keeps you, moving forward. Because you will run into those days where you're not making every shot. Mm-hmm. And you do question, why am I here? Or really, do I matter? So I love that, the why is really the foundation, across the board for anything you're trying to do.
And then once you study a craft, then the D comes in, because a lot of times we put together the perfect plan, we put in the right amount of effort, but things don't happen. Year 1, it doesn't happen. Year 2, it doesn't happen. Year 3, the D stands for determination.
Yeah.
What is going to keep me going on days when nothing is going right? Am I going to keep going? And it comes back to the why, the motivation behind it. It's tied in. I got to be determined. I got to figure out a way to make it work. Mm-hmm. I cannot give up. And just through those motivation, through mine, it comes back to how am I seeing myself?
Yeah.
And that's where the acronym MIND comes in. How do I see myself as I pursue these goals, these dreams?
Yeah.
And if I have it lined up properly and stay consistent, I feel like we're going to achieve success and have seen success.
Yeah. I wonder about your thoughts about, being focused on a timeline. I like what you were saying about, being driven about achieving things within a certain time frame or timeline that we put on ourselves. But everybody doesn't evolve at the same rate. So how do you find the balance with, trusting? I like to say it like this: trust your pace and your process. How do you find the balance with trusting that, but still being on a trajectory that's moving you forward at a reasonable pace?
Okay. And I listen to a lot of successful people. One of my thing is I study a lot of successful people. And Jim Rohn is the person that says it. If you want to achieve success, you got to fully commit. And if you want to achieve it fast, you got to fully commit faster. So it's very difficult. A lot of times we have this perfect plan and think, if I follow this plan, it's going to come out perfect. And it's important to understand that life happens.
Yeah.
And just because you have a perfect plan doesn't mean it's going to happen perfectly. Mm-hmm. And because you're not on track for that timeline, doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. But if you define your success based on that timeline, then be ready for disappointment.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is teaching people, if I want to achieve it by a certain time, I got to fully throw myself in and I can't have any distraction.
Yeah. It's
not something where, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes here or 30 minutes here. Tony Robbins said, if you want to take over the island, you got to burn the boat. So I can't have plan B just in case plan A don't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plan A have to work.
Yeah.
And there's no option. So when I know this is, even if it's not on the same timeline that I'm hoping for, because I fully believe in what I'm doing, I'm going to fully commit to it. But if I see it's not meeting plan A and I give up and go to plan B, then plan A will never fully mature.
Yeah. So it's not, I hear you saying that there really is no right or wrong. I mean, one is not better than the other. You get to choose.
Yes.
You just have to commit.
And it shows in how much effort you put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So that takes me to this quote that you shared with me from Henry Ford. And the quote says this: you can't build a reputation based on what you're going to do. So tell me more. Why is that a quote that you like?
I like it because a lot of times we say, for example, I'm writing this book, and I keep saying, I'm gonna write this book. I'm gonna go to the Olympics. I'm gonna do this. But people watch you. And if you keep saying, I'm gonna do this, but you never actually do it, how can you build credibility on the things you said I'm going to do that you haven't? And when I look at your body language and your actions, it doesn't represent what you're saying.
That's good. Yeah.
So if you decide that, listen, I'm going to make this impact, and it's something I'm working on, so I'm not going to act like I'm perfect.
Yeah.
If I say I want to be a motivational speaker, then when people look at my stuff, it need to represent what I'm saying I'm going to do.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to empower people, when they look at my stuff, it should represent not necessarily that I'm fully evolved, but I'm on that path.
Mm-hmm.
So they can say, okay, he said he was going to go to the Olympics, and in 2012 we saw him at the Olympics.
Yeah.
In 2016 we saw him at the Olympics. We saw him working with athletes. Those are the things that you build your reputation on. It's not saying, well, something came up and I didn't make it to 2012. And then something came up, I didn't make it 2016. But my goal is to do this.
Yeah.
But I don't, my actions and how I conduct myself, my language doesn't represent being a motivational speaker. But I'm saying I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. But no, you can't build a reputation based on what you plan to do. You have to build a reputation on the work you have done. That means you have to do the work.
Yeah. And I really like that because, oftentimes when you're trying to build a brand or, build your influence, people have this idea that you have to be doing a lot of different things and you have to be all over the place and everywhere. But what I try to tell people is it doesn't matter what you're doing. Just be consistent. I mean, if you're just doing one thing, if you're just empowering people, then let us know that we can rely on you for empowering us. Just show up doing that. And that will lead you to that space where, you're always talking about what you're going to do when you're trying to be bigger than what you really are. And, I know that a lot of people struggle with that because they feel like, their validation or their value comes in the multiple things, that they're doing. Yeah. And so you really have to find the balance with that. So I really like that, that quote kind of just keeps us focused. I think Brandy has a song that says almost doesn't count, right? I mean, yeah. So I really do like that. So you did talk a little bit about the videos, and I always tell you send those inspirational videos to me, like just at the moment where, I'm second guessing myself or I'm just, wondering like, man, today, do I matter? Like today, should I keep pressing? Is it worth it? And then here comes a video from you saying, heck yeah, get to work. No excuses, Mamba mentality. Like, so I want you to talk a little bit about, some of those folks that are inspiring you with those videos that you're sharing. There's a gentleman that you always send with me. And so tell me some of those folks that you like to listen to that inspire you.
Okay. Every morning, one of the things that I put in place, because a lot of time we have a reactive mentality. When things are going wrong, then we're going to go for the scripture. We're going to go for the motivational video to try to bring our spirits up.
Yeah.
I work in the field of HIV, and they started working with with our patient, they started giving the patients a medication the minute they are diagnosed, because they realize that it's easier to maintain a positive, a suppressed viral load, than to build it up. So I took that mentality, whereas every morning I'm going to start off with a positive mindset. If I'm in a good mood, then I'm going to listen to some motivational stuff in the morning to help build me up. If I'm in a poor mood, then it's going to also bring me up. So, you know what? When I walk out the door, I'm already in a positive mindset.
Yeah.
So what I'm prepared to deal with whatever I have. I try to study the people who are the best in what they're doing. And even before Kobe passed, I think I sent you Mamba Mentality before Kobe even passed, because I look at the people who are elite in their field and study them. And I'm just going to name off some of the people that I really look up to. So Eric Thomas, motivational speaker, hip-hop preacher, they call him. He is phenomenal. And he started off with a video, posting a video every Monday. Thank God it's Monday.
Yeah.
And now he has a huge empire where he's taking over the world. He's considered the number one motivational speaker in the world. Right? So Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
The next person that I listen to is Kevin Hart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I listen to Kevin Hart interviews, and people may not realize Kevin is a genius.
Yeah.
I remember in 2004, Kevin was already talking about movies he was preparing to do in 2019 and 2020. What people may not know, the average person may not know, is that Kevin Hart has a Nike contract.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
For shoes. Kevin Hart has a pair of shoes. Just like Kobe had shoes, a contract for shoes, Kevin Hart has a shoe contract.
Wow.
And Nike was paying him to do half marathons and 5Ks in different cities.
Oh, okay. I remember him doing those. Yeah.
And what he did, every time that he was doing a race in a city, because he wanted to run a marathon. And in his training, he signed a deal so they would pay him to train.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Look at all the stuff that he has had his hand in. If you listen to the people who have made it, that nobody handed them nothing, and listen to their stories, I promise you're going to get nuggets from them that's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah.
So I got Eric Thomas. I got Kevin Hart. I'm not even going to talk about my number one yet. 50 Cent.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Look at what 50 is doing.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
People heard about him when he did that vitamin water. People start paying attention. But 50 been killing the game. 50 has a book that he wrote with what's his name? The guy that Robert Greene.
Oh, okay.
It's called 50th Law. So the guy that wrote 48 Laws of Power. 50 Cent did a book with him called 50th Law.
Wow. He knows who to partner with. And, I wonder when he started off, as a rapper, like, was this his long game? Or, did he just kind of pay attention to the teachers along the way that he understood that, different trajectories of his business could make him more effective?
When you read 50th Law, then you'll understand that it was his hustle mentality, just like Jay-Z. Yeah. It was his hustle mentality and his ways of seeing opportunity and making the most of opportunities.
Yeah.
That took him to that. He has a new movie out, series out on TV right now.
Yeah.
For Life.
Yeah.
And I listened to an interview he did with a guy, and the guy I can't remember his name. He wanted to actually do a movie.
Okay.
And 50 was like, yeah, we can do the movie, but it's not going to have the impact as if you do the series. So some of us have this microwave mindset, and 50 is like, no, we playing the long game.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I want the listeners to get from it is stop thinking about that microwave mindset where I want it now. Yeah. Yes, it's nice to have it now, but you want to make sure when you get it, it has impact. It's not the microwave. It's more of a slow cooker.
Yeah.
So when you taste that success, it has all the flavor. It's been savored. Mm-hmm. It has more impact, and it's going to be more quality than if something you just put in the microwave that shines for now, that's hot right now, but then it cools quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about when you take some food out the pot or from out the microwave. Food from the microwave is going to get cold a lot quicker than the food you take from the pot.
And it's not as flavorful either. You know, it's not as flavorful. And you miss the opportunity. I'm thinking about microwave food. You're not a part of the process, you know, of putting the ingredients together. Heck, you don't even know what ingredients are in it half the time. You just open it up and just put it in there and take it out. So there's no emotional connection to it at all. You know, it's like the reward piece of it. You can't even take that and be motivated by that because all you did was put it in the microwave and pull it right back out.
Exactly. Yeah. So just Kevin, as I say, I listen to Eric Thomas, Kevin Hart, the interviews. I listen to 50 Cent, like whenever he has interviews, and just listen to how he talks because they're going to share nuggets. Mm-hmm. This guy changed my life.
Is this your number one guy?
Ooh. Ooh. Man, when I tell you, Will Smith.
Oh my God. I love everything about Will Smith. I mean, as they say, on and off the screen.
Man, Will Smith's mind is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there's a video on YouTube that I got hooked to. One of my friends connected me to way back in 2008. And that's when I started, because we like the comedy and we like some people don't even know Will Smith was a rapper till.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But Will, in the interview, I'm getting emotional, so let me get out of myself. Like this dude, no, like for real. Like if I could meet anybody in the world, Will Smith and Kevin Hart. Mm. You understand me? But Will, when he started doing Fresh Prince, because he's so deep at what he wanted, at what he does, he would study everybody's lines. Mm. And he said for the first few episodes, he would mouth what the other people are saying till it's time for him to speak. Mm. And somebody showed it to him on video. So he would speak and then waiting for his turn because he wanted to be so good at it that he studied everybody else's thing. And he's like, listen, I may not be the smartest, the best person, but one thing I tell you, if we get on this treadmill of life, I'm going to die. Either you're going to get off first, I'm going to die. It means I'm going to give you everything that I have. Yeah. And we have seen it in how he has done his work. And look at who's the top. He's the top rate. Like every time somebody come to him, they better have this money.
Yeah, and it's not like he's making movies every year. I mean, he can choose. He's at the place now where his reputation is clear, his why is clear, his value is clear, and he can choose. He's in the seat of power.
And not only that, all of his movies that I've connected with, because when I watch it again, because that's my guy, I watch it for the meaning. Everything his meanings are consistent.
Yeah.
From Focus, Hitch, man.
Yeah.
Just check his movies. They're consistent.
Uh-huh.
And how he throws himself into it. Ali, Concussion, just throws himself into it to really become that good at what he needs to do. Like, this is my guy, man. So
yeah, he certainly is. I mean, it's so many nuggets we can take from his life, you know. And the beautiful thing to me is that he is being himself.
Yes.
You know, he is authentic and uncompromising. You know, sometimes you feel like you have to compromise who you really are to get to this place of success, especially in entertainment. So it's great that he's just being real, you know.
And I can't remember who said this post, but this quote, but the quote says, if you remain who you are and is good at it, then the world will pay you to be yourself.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's
so the thing is to know who you are and stay authentic to who you are, despite what society is telling you what you should be. That R should not mean greatness. Stay consistent.
Stay consistent.
And believe in what you want to believe. Because a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. If I try to convince you that R does stand for greatness, I'm going to just stress myself out trying to convince you to believe in my dream.
Yeah.
And it's my dream.
It's yours. That's right. You know, I tell people like that. You know, people struggle to see your vision because they don't have your eyes. So, you know, don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. You just get clear on it. And they'll be on board because they'll be drawn by your passion, your motivation, and your consistency. So keep
it. Even if you don't, it was Jim Carrey who said it. His dad Jim Carrey said, even if I don't achieve my goal, I'd rather fail at doing what I want to do than fail at what you want me to do.
Oh, I love that.
I'm gonna send you the actual quote because I'm paraphrasing, but if I don't pursue my goals and I pursue the goals that you think I should pursue, and I'm unsuccessful, I'm gonna beat myself up and say I should have. I'd rather pursue my goal, fail at it, figure out what I need to do, or come to the conclusion that this didn't work. I gave it everything, and it didn't work.
You know that right there, that quote, like what you just said, is a soundbite that is going to set so many free in their mindset. Because, I mean, I know people that have gone into business that have, you know, followed paths for somebody else, not because they wanted to or they believed in it. They're just doing it because they thought it was expected of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it gets tough, guess what's going to happen?
Yep.
It's going to be easy for me to quit or stressed out.
Yeah.
That's why the M in the mind is so important. Your motivation has to be strong enough.
Yeah.
And when we say motivation, when I work with my clients and they're like, hey, you know, I want to achieve this goal. Okay. Why?
Yeah.
And they'll tell me something, you know, because I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, cool. You want to lose 20 pounds. Why? Because I want to fit in this black dress. Okay. All right. Why is that important? And you don't always say why, but you find different, you use the motivational interviewing skills to get to the why. And there's this book, and I'm sorry I'm talking about all of these books because...
No, talk about the books because we're going to have this available, of course, on iTunes podcast, on all of our platforms, but we're also going to have it on YouTube. So I will put links that people can access and find all of these, you know, great resources that you're talking about.
Okay, so I can't remember the name of the guy, but his book is called Millionaire Success Habits.
Okay.
I think his name is David.
That's okay. We'll find it.
Yeah, but Millionaire Success Habit. And he talks about the 7 layers of why. So when you give me your why, and you remember when a kid asked you back in the day, like even now, Mom, why? Yes. And you say, because this. And you plan that, you don't want to say, because I said so.
Yep.
But they asked you like 5 more times why after you gave them these answers. And it made you have to think like,
why?
You know what? Because I said so.
Yeah.
Because it frustrates you.
Yeah.
I use the same approach with my clients because the real reason why you want to fit in this black dress is because it makes you feel good about yourself. Mm-hmm. And when we know that why you're doing it is because it makes you feel good about yourself and it represents whatever to you.
Yeah.
On days when it's too cold, guess what you're going to do? Mm-hmm. Because that why is relevant, it's important.
Yeah.
It's because you can be like, you know what? I ain't worried about this black dress. I can buy a bigger dress and I'll still look good in it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can put on some makeup or I just won't go to the event. But when you attach a why, like when I look, I've been running. I've been working out again. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people don't know is in November, I had a stroke because I was stressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So when I get up and run, I hate running. Mm-hmm. But I'll go knock off 5 miles or 10 miles or whatever because I know that this exercise helps me to regulate my system so I'm not as stressed.
Yeah.
So my blood can circulate. So am I going to play with that? Because I remember what it felt like laying on that gurney, like, man, in tears with my friends looking at me like I'm about to die. I'm like, that's not what I want for me.
Yeah.
So when your why is strong enough, when your motivation is strong enough, you'll figure out a way.
That's it. That definitely is it.
And that's
sometimes we have to get to that experience, that almost death experience to really help us solidify that why, you know.
And it's unfortunate, but sometimes that's what we need.
Hey, yeah, whatever it takes.
And sometimes we try to help people so they don't experience what we experience, but they won't have the value for it.
Yes.
Unless they go through that experience. So sometimes you just have to provide the support and stand there. And when they go through it and is really know what it feels like, then they value what you're saying more.
Yeah. I heard someone say that, you know, I'm not going to steal your lesson. You know, I want to help you, but I'm not going to take your lesson from you because you need that to get.
And sometimes God will punish you.
Yeah.
Because you getting in the way of my work.
That's right.
Like, okay, you keep helping that person. And my pastor talked about it. He's like, okay, you keep, every time they mess up, you keep giving them money. All right, I'm going to take away your money. So guess what? So they can get the lesson they need to get. Okay, all right. I don't need you messing with my money, God. So go ahead and teach them what they need to teach. And then just let me know when I need to step back in. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate you have shared so much with us, you know, inspiration-wise, just candidly, you know, the lessons that you've learned, you know, through your life. But we do want to learn just a little bit more about you, Mr. Nicholas R. Powell. I like to call this my Bizperation Top 5 segment. And those of you that, you know, follow us on YouTube, you know that we share these videos each week with
put on my glasses.
We share these nuggets with business strategies and inspiration each week. But when we're talking about it on our podcast, we like to get to know our guests a little bit better. So this will be our quick lightning round. All right, Nick, are you ready for this? So you can tell us, you can respond with the first thing that comes to mind, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. First one. What do you think about when you're alone in the car?
Growth.
Okay. What's your favorite song?
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Bob Marley.
Hey, if you could be any animal in the world, what animal would it be?
I'll be a cheetah.
Okay. What's next for you?
This book.
What's
the R stands for greatness.
The R stands for greatness. So listen, reputation is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So what do you want people to remember listening that are listening to this interview? What do you want them to remember after today?
Anything is possible begins in the mind.
You're showing us how.
Yeah.
So how can we follow you? Give us all the details. Where can we find you?
I am on Instagram. I do my best to post a motivational quote at least once or twice a week on Instagram. It's a mind game.
Okay. Say it one more time because I heard a little bit of I don't know. Say it one more time.
My handle on Instagram and Twitter is It's a Mind Game. I have on Facebook, it's Nicholas R. Powell. And LinkedIn, Nicholas R. Powell. I have the website. I'm still working on it, but you can get to the website from my Instagram tag.
Okay, and tell us about your gear. I like your sweatshirt that you have on there. And I've seen so many entrepreneurs and folks around St. Louis wearing your gear, your Stay Focused. So tell us about that and how we can get it.
Okay, so you go on Instagram, you can click the link in the bio and you can get to my shop. And staying focused is no matter what happens in life, as long as you're clear about your goal and your vision, no matter what you're going through, the key is to stay focused. And if you stay focused on what is important to you and keep pursuing, you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. I've had people call me. One of the greatest things is people texting me or calling me and be like, hey, I'm getting ready for an exam and I put on this t-shirt, or I'm studying for this and I put on this sweatshirt, because no matter what I'm going through, it helps me to remember what's important. And that's what the slogan is about, staying focused, because it's really just a mind game. It's how you see it in your mind is going to determine how you move forward. If you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to pursue it all the way. But if you believe it's possible and you stay focused, anything is possible.
Absolutely. Nicholas, I really appreciate this time together. I mean, every time I get to chat with you, and it's been over the years, you are consistently inspiring me and stretching me to think bigger and to make sure that I am checking my mindset, because I want to win at the mindset game. So I'm going to stay focused. I want our listeners to stay focused, and we're going to make sure that we have access, sharing those resources and links that you shared with us so that we can continue to be motivated. So thanks for chatting with me today.
Thank you, Christy. I just want to thank you also for just the impact you have had in the community and the mentorship that you have shown, not just to myself, because even though we may not sit down and you like, Nick, I'm a teacher, I'm watching and I see what you're doing and the impact you're having with the women around, especially the women around you, and just providing that guidance and that supporting and empowering and highlighting what they're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because believe it or not, you're making great impact and you're changing lives. So keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you.
Nick, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And full transparency, as you said, a lot of the work that I do is with women, but this Bizperation platform is for men and women.
Yeah.
And so I was determined to have you as my first guest, because I can't often have you, on platforms with me because they are female focused, but I was determined that you were going to be my first guest. So, I mean, I just value you and what you always have to say to encourage us. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
The Bizperation Personal Think Tank Journal is now available. Did you know that your creativity is a valuable asset based on this? How you think determines how you thrive. The Bizperation Journal exercises the key thinking skills that make goal-getters successful. Get your copy today from Amazon or receive an autographed copy from the Bizperation.com website. We know that there are lots of podcasts that you could have chosen to listen to, so thanks for choosing ours. Go ahead and subscribe now so that you don't miss any episodes.